Part 2, Pride Comes Before. Chapter 7, Gained Uppin'. Tirana Rain is late. Already this whole sidekick thing seems to be a very bad idea. You wait in Ringe Square, alone, feeling a bit self-conscious in your costume. Grandma knew you had to meet Tirana Rain somewhere public to protect your identity, but she could have chosen a better location. This park is a notorious drug center. You feel the eyes of dealers on you from all around, waiting to see why you're here. Not to mention some punk kid recognized you and shouted about how his dog could probably be a better hero than you. What a great first brush with fame, you think. You could also swear one of them is taking photos of you, but before you can locate the source of the flash, your me-chip pulses with an alert. Sir, it appears an article has published featuring your, me-chip Algernon starts, object of affection, shall we say. Turning red, you ignore Algernon and open the news blog clip instead. The Millennial Group gets a touch of magic. Black magic to become group's newest member. Object of my affection? What are you talking about, Algernon? As you read this headline, your heart nearly stops beating. Black magic blazed onto the hero scene after a single-handedly protecting MC from a foreign terrorist incursion last year. Even though his origin remains completely shrouded in mystery, Black magic is currently MC's most famous solo hero. Especially after receiving the latest Millennial City's Hero of Tomorrow grant, which is the most esteemed honor that can be bestowed upon any aspiring hero. It doesn't hurt that black magic is absolutely gorgeous either. Despite the mainstream hype, you can't help but be attracted to black magic, mostly because of his striking resemblance to your biggest crush, an old-time celebrity icon from back in the days, when normal people were famous. No, no, no. No! Good gravy, what a series of terrible options. Back in the old time, I guess this is the future, okay. Black magic really looks like, oh man, my all-time biggest male crush. The first two names that come to mind are John Hamm and Sam Rockwell. But I'm tempted to go with Paul Newman. Or we can make up a name. We have a really big crush on Mr. Poopy Butthole. How about, let's just go with Paul Newman. Clint Eastwood. Kurt Russell. Paul Newman, sure. Jeff Bridges. Black magic is a dead ringer for Paul Newman. You think he might actually be a direct descendant, but no one knows enough about his past to be sure. You've always been fine being alone, especially since you haven't had much choice in the matter. Still, there's something about black magic. Whenever you see him, you feel like you might want more. You always saw black magic as a solo hero like yourself. But wasn't he a hero before us? So it's a bit disappointing that he has decided to join the Millennial Group. Still, you imagine yourself standing next to black magic in the photo, your hand secretly on his back behind the cameras. Kinky. Team or no team? Not kinky. Promiscuous? Sure. You'd be the hottest celebrity couple in all of MC. Then your mind wanders up to Black Magic's no doubt lavish apartment, to his giant shower. You have him pressed up against the cool tile, hot water running down his abs. Wait, he gets the hot water? I'm left to chill in the shower? Tandem showers. Great. But a bit overrated, gotta say. Maybe if you had one of those showers with multiple shower heads all around. Hello? You hear a sharp voice say, pulling you back to reality. You turn to find Tirana Rain sitting next to you, arms crossed. She wears thigh-high boots with 5-inch heels and a tight white costume, which pops against her dark brown skin. So she's Symmetra? Wow, you say without thinking. Nothing about Tirana's outfit is the least bit practical for heroing. Isn't she also 15? Especially not the diamond earrings, which probably cost more than your apartment. Of all the lame-ass heroes you could have stuck me with, I get the reject who couldn't even handle an ancient accessory. Tirana seethes, eyeing you with as if you have leprosy. Looking exhausted, she reaches down into her boot and pulls out a flask. Mommy needs a shot. Wow. Whoa, aren't you only— Relax, I generate water, remember? The excess moisture in my body keeps me so hydrated it would take an entire distillery to catch a buzz. Then why are you bothering to drink at all? Tirana says, turning half the flask in one gulp. Still, it takes the edge off if I lace it with some lewds. Now, are you going to off some baddies or what? You stare at Tirana, speechless. You really picked a winner here, didn't you? We're going to break into the Annie Gang Rumble, you say, knowing there's no going back now. You've got to give this whole sidekick thing at least one night, or Grandma might kill you. I feel like part of this program should be, don't engage in violence with your buddy. That's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot. What, the Slugger is an Annie Gang? Tirana says, taking another long pull from her flask. Is that some kind of weird hood thing? Sorry, I put the voice in the first part. Oh dear. With the Splice Circle in upheaval, the Annie gangs have decided it is the perfect time to try and wipe each other out to serve the new leader without competition. So the Scales and the Cloven have been trying to kill each other in the streets all week, leading up to one final rumble rumored to be tonight, in an abandoned electric plant on the outskirts of the fringes. In real life, is there any animal that has scales and cloven feet at the same time? I know, speaking fantasy-wise, Gorgons can, depending on which sort of Gorgon you're thinking of. Basilisks don't. There's probably some weird hybrid chimera type thing that does. Not the chimera, because it's like the chimera refers to a creature with 3 very specific heads. Is that like the lion, goat, snake? Because it's a different thing with 3 different heads, which has a different name. But real life, turtles don't have hooves. Yeah, I don't think there's any reptile hooves. I wonder why that would be. After botching the Gravitas case, why wasn't the capitalized there? You decided that stopping gang violence in the fringes, violence you helped escalate in the first place, would be an excellent smaller scale way to start rebuilding your reputation. On your way to the plant, you fly beside Tirana. She can move through the air by shooting jets of water from her hands and feet, like high-pressure hoses. That would require the expenditure of an insanely high volume of water. And woe to the people below her who get drenched. The problem is, she moves considerably slower than you. You have to exert extra power to fly slowly, enough for her not to fall behind. Oh, should have gone with the Sparrow. You are mildly entertained, however, as people on the street below are drenched by the excess water pouring down from Tirana's flight. I feel like I could spend less extra power just to carry her. How long will this take? Tirana asks. I've got a hair appointment later. You're going to respond when you notice Tirana's me-chip flashing away on her wrist. She is mentally texting while flying. This girl is going to get herself killed, and it'll be all your fault. No, it won't. It'll be her fault. What on earth possessed you to pick her? So, how do your parents feel about you heroing, you ask, remembering the reason? Tirana looks at you, sending it over some grade A death shade. Is that why you picked me? Because of who my parents are? You pause for a moment, considering your answer. I'm gonna lie. Am I gonna lie? I'm tempted to lie. I'm gonna go with the negging. Let's neg her a little bit. Yeah, I chose, it doesn't say it again, that's right. I picked her because she needed the most training, or so I thought. Yeah, sure thing, Mr. Script, Tirana laughs hysterically. Well, the joke's on you, because my parents don't even know I'm here. They don't want me to be a hero at all. Perfect, you think. Not only will Tirana's media connections not help you, but if her parents find out about you working with her, they'll probably torpedo your career even deeper. Don't look so thrilled, what are they? Tirana says. Even though she'd probably kill you if she knew, Tirana looks ever so slightly defeated. She must have to deal with people using her all the time. After that, you and Tirana continue your flight in silence. 20 minutes later, you finally approach the abandoned electric plant. Way later than you expected. I can't believe I'm gonna stop a gang fight, Tirana says, looking bored. That's so low budget. Can't we do something a little flashier? Just worry about getting out alive, you say, your patience at its end, and follow my lead. Wannabe, Tirana says, dropping down and toward the plant. I think you should be following my lead. I've so got this. You sigh, diving downward after Tirana. Here goes nothing. You crash through a broken window, followed closely by Tirana Rain, but what you see makes you both freeze. You're too late. Dozens of Annie gangsters already cover the ground, lifeless and emptied. And emptied? Are they fighting vampires? Also strewn among them are the bodies of 7 heroes, all wearing brown and red costumes. At least you hope that red is from their costumes. You gasp as you realize that all of them are really young. Probably some amateur youth startup team that tried to make a name for itself by stopping the rumble. If there's wanton death like this all the time, I feel like the PFPP not a super effective organization for, like, regulating vigilantism. These guys clearly aren't prepared, they're dying left and right, this is a fiasco. You're about to question the wisdom of bringing your own brand new teen sidekick into this mess, but your attention is stolen by the vicious battles taking place below you. A few dozen anti-gangsters remain standing, their movements blurred together. Lizard tails and venomous fangs rip into coarsely haired flesh. Cloven hooves and twisted antlers bash thin-scaled torsos everywhere you look. Oh no, you say, frozen in the air. The scene is more grisly than you ever could have imagined. Toronto Rain looks just as horrified, despite her big talk just a minute ago. Unfortunately, her powers can't keep her hovering next to you, so she begins to plummet down toward the fray, terror-stricken. You swoop down to scoop Toronto Rain up, flying to the edge of the plant to drop her off. Listen to me. Do not get involved in the fighting, you shout. I just want to get all of those fallen heroes to safety. Can you do that for me? Toronto Rain doesn't even blink, still frozen with fear. You bet she has never seen anything quite as gruesome as a fringe gang fight before. Can you do that for me? You shout louder, trying to snap her out of it. Toronto Rain finally nods, so you spin around and dive into the fray. You've got to stop this brawl. Now. You can use the cyclone winds to scatter the fighters across the plant, slam the ground with a giant energy fist to disrupt the fighters, or drop an energy bomb to disorganize the fighters. I'm so tempted to go with this spirit bomb. But I also like giant energy fists and cyclones. These are 3 fantastic options. I don't really know what an energy bomb means. Is that like, does that have the risk of like knocking out like power somewhere important? Energy fists also seems like it has the risk of being like a tiny localized earthquake and just collapsing the entire Gorium building. Cyclone Winds seems like it has a high chance to just lacerate everybody, but it seems like the least destructive, so we'll go with the Cyclone Winds. You spin super fast and close your eyes, feeling cyclone after cyclone rip away from your body. When you open your eyes, you find the anti-gang members scattered across the plant, completely windswept and disorganized. You can make out the sound of Toronto Rain's voice cheering you on in the background. You smile, thinking that this might go smoothly after all. But before you can finish your thought, something sharp sinks into your shoulder. You scream as you feel fangs rip at your flesh. Instinctively, you let out a strong energy pulse and the grip loosens. You whip around to see a blonde girl falling to the ground, her hair flared in the shape of a cobra's head. As she hits the floor, you can see your blood dripping from her fangs. Ignoring this sight, you turn your attention back to the remaining anti-gangsters, knowing they'll probably attack you before tearing back into each other. You raise your arms to throw up an energy shield, but find they've gone numb. Within seconds, you feel the numbness travel down your spine. Then your legs give out. Can't I just use energy from my brain to just like move my arms? Like a puppet? A self-puppet? A masturbatory puppet? There must have been some kind of venom in the Cobra Girl's bite. Oh! What a novel concept, because now you're paralyzed from the neck down. You swivel your head desperately to see that the gang brawl has started up again all around you. It won't be long before one of them comes to finish you. Maybe I should have gone with the energy bomb after all and just tired people out or something. If I collapsed the building, maybe it would have been better. Who knows? I moved those heroes out of the line of fire, you hear Toronto Rain shout from somewhere nearby. Why are you lying there? The Cobra Girl bit me and now I can't move, you say, thankful that you can at least speak. Can you get me out of here? Toronto Rain steps over you to try and move you, but then her face goes blank. The gang members, they're coming for us. Toronto Rain, listen to me. You have to make a stand. Toronto looks ghostly. I don't think I can do this, she whispers. Pull yourself together, you shout. Just do what I tell you. You studied Toronto Rain's powered profile while you were waiting for her. No, I didn't. I was daydreaming. So you know about black magic. You know how to utilize her abilities in ways she probably doesn't even know herself. That's pretty hubristic of me. Sap the moisture from their bodies. That sounds amazing, and I'm sure she would kill them. Let's do the flood thing. Create a flood to wash the gangsters out. Toronto Rain looks down at you like you're insane. However, as several anti-gangsters start to close in for the kill, she gets it together. Closing her eyes tightly, Toronto Rain stretches her arms over her head and begins to scream at the top of her lungs. Immediately, you feel the ground tremble and you turn your head toward the far wall, which has begun to buckle, trickles of water pushing through. Why is the water way over there? Wait, Toronto, what are you doing? That's not what I told you to, you start to say, but it's no use. Before you can finish, the wall gives way and a tsunami crashes through, carrying massive chunks of concrete with it. Your jaw drops. There's no way anyone in here will survive that wall of water, not even you and Tirana. You close your eyes. I'm sure Tirana will protect me. At least your body is still numb, so you shouldn't feel much of anything when the water hits. You just hope that you don't end up drowning to death. Then you feel your body jerk violently and swing up into the air. You clench your jaw, expecting a rush of cold water, but all you feel is a sprinkle of mist. You open your eyes to find yourself in Tirana's arms, rocketing into the sky above the tsunami. Below, the remaining anti-gangsters swirl around, desperately trying to survive the whirlpool. Holy slugger, you whisper, as the tidal pool winds down, gushing out of the exits. You can't tell if anyone survived. All you know is that no one on the ground is moving. Once the flood clears, Tirana hose rockets you back to the ground and places you down. I didn't know I could do that, Tirana Rain says, astonished. Then, before she can say another word, Tirana Rain faints. Slugger, you think, as you lie in the now silent plant, completely paralyzed. This is not good. 2 hours later. You are back in Ringe Square, having healed yourself enough to fly both you and Tirana Rain back across the fringes. Of course, it's not until you're about to land that she starts to wake up. What happened? Tirana Rain mutters, her eyes fluttering open. I healed myself and got us out of there just as the ambulances were arriving, you answer. I figured neither of us needed any official attention for that mess. Ah, that would have just been perfect, Tirana says, attempting to stand. That's just what I need for my parents to know I'm harrowing behind their backs. At least you have a few brain cells still functioning. So what about the sluggers, my flask? So where are the sluggers? Sluggers, my flask. Are you kidding me? Oh, you're insane, and I like it, Tirana. No, I don't condone you and your drugs. You could have killed us both with that tsunami stunt. You probably just killed some of those anti-gangsters. Don't you care at all? It was us of them, Tirana says, getting in your face. They were murdering each other like animals, literally. Animals don't murder each other. I mean, some do, but as a general rule, the saying goes, animals don't murder each other. It's kind of a thing. Do you feel bad for them? You step back from Tirana because this is just a waste of time. We're done here, you say, turning to leave. If you never see Tirana Rain again, you'll be a very happy hero. Besides, you've got somewhere else to be. Once Tirana Rain is out of sight, you reach down to your me chip to make a call. What was Jenna's voice? Generic female? I was waiting for you to ring me back, you intolerable sloot, Jenny says as her holographic image pops up. Meet me in 10 minutes, you say. We've got a lot to talk about. As you take off again, you can swear that you can see more flashes coming from across the park. But you don't have time for that right now. Stopping the anti-gang rumble was a good move, but it's not enough. You were just treating a symptom, placing a band-aid on a wound that needs stitches. No, you know what you really need to do now. You need to cut off the anti-gang problem at its source. You need to take down the Splice Circle. Next chapter. The Vigilante. Vigilante. Yep, Vigilante. Rick and Morty. Rick and Vigilante. Forever, Rick and Vigilante, Chapter 8. Forever the Vigilante of Chapter 8 with Taserface and Tirana Rain. Tirana Rain and Taserface. The Vigilante. Forever and ever.